Talk 98.9 and online at newstalk989.com. I'm Ditch. That's Tim Van Horn, everybody.
Yeah, came back in from the break. We have a guest in here, and then we've got some cool stuff in front.
Very cool swag. This is awesome.
And this has to do with Elvis week, and earlier in the hour we were talking about Elvis and his devotion to karate and specific disciplines, and we have a guest in now to talk about Elvis during Elvis week here. This is very exciting.
Billy Stallings, how you doing, man?
Billy.
I'm doing great, guys. How are y'all?
Good.
So, a couple of things. I'm going to take just a minute real quick to introduce you to our audience. So for people who don't know you, also known over the years as the Spa Guy, what is your connection and affiliation with Elvis fans and Elvis?
Okay, so I'm called the Spa Guy because I own a hot tub company in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So it's called the Spa Guy.
I got you.
I started making YouTube videos about hot tubs and that kind of thing under the moniker Spa Guy. And I started making Elvis videos on the same channel, and it just kind of took over the channel, so I never changed the name. Okay. So I know that's odd, but I'm known in the Elvis community as the Spa Guy.
So you have a youthful glow. I thought maybe you just had great skin.
Exactly, yes.
I thought maybe you were Elvis's pool guy or something. I didn't. But you also have a love for karate.
Absolutely, yes, sir. I've studied karate. Now, I studied a different style than Elvis. I studied Wateroo. Elvis studied Shotokan, Kenpo, and in Memphis, he studied Pasaru, which is Kongri's style that he created. That Kongri created that style, Pasaru.
I mean, you're big time when the style is named after you.
Or you name it, yeah.
Or you name it, yeah.
And it's like everybody's like, okay, hey, whatever you say, that sounds good to me. I mean, that's pretty incredible. But Elvis, I guess at a time in his life, he was looking for something, for discipline, to focus, for fitness, and for, I guess, maybe self-protection. It seemed like karate was just such a perfect fit for Elvis. It was an all-in-one for him.
In my opinion, it goes deeper than that. And what I mean is he started karate in Germany in 1958. His mother had just passed away.
Okay.
So if you look at it from that aspect, he was in the army. His mother had just passed away. Suddenly he finds himself in Germany. He doesn't know if his career is going to continue. He's lost his mother. So he looked for something to immerse himself in. And I actually know the story firsthand from a guy that was there. His name was Rex Mansfield. He was a good friend of mine. He passed in 2018. Rex told me that he and Elvis were in the hotel in Bad Homburg. I've actually been there and filmed for my YouTube channel. And he said they came downstairs and were walking through the lobby, and they noticed guys in a room doing karate. Elvis said, "Hey man, let's go see what they're doing." So he went in and they watched them work out. At the end, they talked to the instructor and started taking private lessons. Rex and Elvis together were taking private lessons from that guy, and that's where it all started for Elvis. But that's literally very shortly after his mother passed away.
So he found some healing in that, something to focus in on.
To immerse himself in, and he did it for 19 years, 58 to 77.
And he worked out hard. I know that he was a megastar back in the day, but I mean, his instructors did not take it easy on him typically, did they? That's
a fact. When he left in March of 1960 and came back to the States, he was a third-degree brown belt, which is, I'm a yellow belt. Getting a belt is not easy, and they don't give those things to you. Now, when you start getting up into, if you're a superstar and you start getting up in 6, 7, 8, 9, some of those may be gifts. But to get to a black belt, it takes a lot of work. That's not something that anybody gives anybody. That's not a thing.
So I want to ask you about the dojo and also the airplane that is the airplane there?
It's there, yes sir. Right now we drove it this week.
When I saw the video, this is nuts. So Billy Stallings is driving the Hound Dog 2, which is now is that what it's called?
No, the Hound Dog 2 is the little airplane at Graceland next to the Lisa Marie. Okay.
So
this is the same style airplane. It's a Jetstar.
Okay, gotcha.
Lockheed.
Okay, so this was the Jetstar, and Elvis owned this aircraft?
He did. There's we have paperwork that will show you the bill of sale in January of '77 says Elvis Presley 3765 or 3764 Elvis Presley Boulevard. Absolutely.
Where was this this airplane was in New Mexico at a boneyard or something, and it was auctioned off a couple of years ago from research that I did. But How did it end up back in Memphis?
Well, the guy, it's another YouTuber, Jimmy's World, and Jimmy he's an airplane guy. He does with airplane what we do with Elvis.
Okay.
I have a sidekick that I film with. His channel is Globetrotting with Trey, and we just go around the country and in some cases around the world filming these stories. Jimmy found out about the airplane, knew the connection to Elvis, which is always going to be huge. When you say Elvis's name, it gets attention. It's how the world is.
Yeah.
And went out and purchased it, and then was trying to figure out what to do with it. And he decided to turn it into a motorhome, actually. And he doesn't stay in it, but it's on a Freightliner chassis, and you drive it with the yoke.
It's essentially the fuselage sitting on a chassis.
That's exactly right. And it's really pretty surreal when you're driving it. The steering wheel is the airplane yoke, and the rudder pedals are gas and brake.
The video of you in the cockpit driving it down the highway is nuts.
It's pretty surreal, and it was fun. We had a great time. We call that a banner day.
Yeah.
That was a banner day.
So you got that to the dojo, which is on is it on Brooks, right off of Elvis Presley?
It's on Lucybell, right off of Brooks.
Lucybell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you come off of 55 onto Elvis Presley, the intersection of Brooks, make a right. We're the second left.
Okay. All right. So you have that thing on display there. Did you get any kind of escort when you were driving it? Where was it at? Millington Airport?
It was at Millington, and no, sir. We just drove it. Now we had a friend of ours, Wendy, take the Gray Ghost, which is my vehicle that we use, and she followed us. She took us out there and then followed us. And
licensed to drive on the streets?
Yes, it's tagged to drive on the streets.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's street legal. They drove it from Jimmy's people drove it from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It was at Oshkosh at the airplane show.
I would love to see a drag race between that airplane and the Wienermobile.
I think it could beat the Wienermobile.
Yeah.
It's pretty fast. And Jimmy told me it's the most reliable vehicle he owns. Yeah.
All right. So I don't want to digress too far off, but fans can come see it. So did Elvis ever use that aircraft?
We don't know. His name is on the bill of sale, but I will put it to you this way. You know the two airplanes at Graceland. You've got the Lisa Marie and the Jetstar.
Yeah.
There's no photographic proof that Elvis was ever on the Hound Dog 2 Jetstar. I can't find any photographs of it.
Really?
So we can't say that he did or didn't. What I will say is that I think that he, from what I can find, it appears that there was a fan that was a sheik, an oil sheik, that was a fan of Elvis. And he tried to trade Elvis the Lisa Marie for 747, and Elvis wouldn't do the trade. So I think the sheik bought that airplane so he could have something of Elvis's. I'm not finished with the history of that yet, but that's where I'm leaning at this point.
Okay. All right.
Now let's talk real quick about the dojo and what you have going on there this week, because there's a lot of Elvis programming and stuff, and people can come out there and meet.
Absolutely. We have tonight. We have Rose Clayton Phillips. She was married to Judd Phillips, which is Sam Phillips' nephew, and Rose she met Elvis the first time when she was 8 years old. He came with his cousin Gene to deliver groceries to her house, and that's the first time she saw him. Her father is the videographer that filmed all the Elvis stuff in '56 in Tupelo, the famous footage of Elvis on stage.
Wow.
Okay.
And Rose was there. She was 14 years old. She would hand him the film. He would hand her back the reels, and she would box them. And she sat next to the Colonel's wife at that concert in '56. She wrote for Billboard magazine. She wrote for the Rolling Stone. Entertainment Tonight, any segment on Elvis, she produced it. And so, I mean, she was right in the middle of all that stuff. She's 85. She doesn't look 85. But she's written books. She wrote the book about Dr. Nick. She wrote the book about Elvis Up Close. Mm-hmm. And she has gifted us or loaned us items for the dojo. Like her father acquired the chair that Elvis got fired in at Lowe State when he was an usher. So we have the chair that Elvis got fired in, and a coffee cup that Elvis gave Dr. Nick. He handed it to Nick at Graceland, and Nick took it home. And when she was doing his biography, he gifted her the coffee cup. We have it.
All right, Billy, we appreciate you coming by and spending a couple of minutes telling some of these stories. There's plenty more to tell and lots more to see. What's the address of your dojo?
It is
And what's it called?
It's called the Tigerman Karate Dojo Museum by Spa Guy. Okay. If you want to find out details, go to www.tigermanmuseum.com.
Awesome.
And we have Ginger coming Thursday night, Elvis's fiance.
Okay.
Ginger Alden, right?
Ginger Alden.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. And hey, thanks for the swag, the patches here from the dojo. We appreciate that. That's very generous of you.
You're very welcome.
We appreciate
Thank
that.
you guys for having
Thanks
us
for
on.
stopping by, man. It's 8:58. We got a split, man. Brian Kilmeade Show coming up next.
It is Elvis week, and with that, the owner of the Tigerman Karate Dojo and Museum, Billy Stallings, is joining us. I'm going to be honest with you, Billy. This is the first time hearing of the Karate Dojo and Museum. I didn't even know this thing existed.
Yes, sir. It is new. We opened July the 4th, 2025. And what it is that building was Connery's second dojo. So he had one downtown, 1911 Poplar across from Levitt Park Shell.
Right.
Not downtown, but in that area.
Headed that way.
That's right. And then he put one closer to Graceland, so Elvis had a place to go. And they were there from roughly 70 to 74. Elvis received his 7th and 8th degree black belt in Passeru there in the building. The last time he was in the building would be September 16th, 1974. And that's all the famous photos with him on the red carpet in his ceremonial karate gi, the one with all the red trim.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that happened in our building.
And that was in 74.
That's 74.
There wasn't not a lot of pictures of him actually training to earn his black belt.
That's right. Very few pictures of that. This was a day where they had, Connery knew that it was probably the last time that Elvis would be in that building. So he had a professional photographer come and take all those iconic pictures. The one that was turned into the liquor decanter happened in our building, and that's him posing in the very back with Connery.
Yeah.
And that's a very famous pose. It's on T-shirts. It's on all kinds of things. And I saw the building as a machine shop. It was a church before Connery had it, a church after. Then eventually it became a machine shop. So when I got it, it looked nothing like it did, and I restored it back to look exactly like it did in the videos.
Wow.
And there's videos of Elvis in there as well.
How long did it take you to get that restoration done?
I worked on it about 9 months. Pretty steady. I don't live here. I live in Nashville, so I was commuting back and forth and doing all kinds of things. So it took a little while. It was quite a challenge.
Yeah.
It took a while for people to find an ambulance. It took about 4 years ago. The emergency vehicle that transported Elvis Presley to Baptist Hospital August 16, 77 was found in a field outside your home.
Well, not outside my home. It was actually my sidekick, Globetrotting with Trey. He has a YouTube channel as OL. I searched for that thing for years and years and years, and I found it 41 years to the day. I found it August the 16th, 2018, in a field behind the house in Bartlett. And what had happened was the guy that bought it was a Memphis City cop, and a friend of his that was a fireman said, "Man, the Elvis ambulance is coming through the auction. If you don't get it, it's going to be crushed. So you need to get down here and buy it." So he bought it and basically kept it behind his house or his brother's house for all those years. And I searched for it. It took about 3 years to find it. I bought it in 2018, and I kept it until I was able to open the museum. The museum opened one time before and had a little situation that's over now. Let's just say that. And that was 2021, and I didn't tell anybody I had it until that point. I didn't want to tell anybody I had it until I had a place for them to see it. Right. So I opened the museum in 2021, and they could see it at that point. And then the ambulance went into hiding, if you will, but it's back out now, and you can come see it.
I mean, if they're going to try and steal Elvis out of his grave, they're definitely going to try and steal the ambulance.
100%.
Exactly.
And now you've got one of the planes. Which plane do you have?
This is a 62 Lockheed Jetstar that Elvis purchased in January of 1977. And it's basically the same airplane as the smaller plane at Graceland, the Hound Dog 2. The Morton Salt Company owned it prior to Elvis. They're the ones that sold it to Elvis. What happened to it after that, I'm working on. There's not a lot of information about it. What I think happened was Elvis had a friend that was an oil sheik that tried to buy the Lisa Marie or trade for the Lisa Marie, and Elvis, of course, wouldn't let it go. So I believe he bought that airplane, so he had something of Elvis's.
Is the Hound Dog and Elisa Marie at Graceland?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's what I was
Elvis
getting.
Maria is the giant plane. The Hound
Right.
Dog is a smaller plane.
Okay.
Billy Stallings is joining us. He's the owner of the Tigerman Karate Dojo and Elvis Museum on Luciville Road.
Luciville, 3217.
It's right off of East Brooks Road there off I-55. Why are you such a passionate Elvis fan? What brought you to all of this?
You know, that's a great question. A friend of mine, when I was about 12, 13 years old, I'm gonna say 11 years old, Troy Robinson, he was a neighbor, and I went to his house, and he had a stack of Elvis records. And I knew who Elvis was. He was a household name, but I didn't have Elvis records. Well, he did. And when I saw his records, he pulled out the Aloha from Hawaii album, and we listened to it. He sold me a cassette of Aloha from Hawaii for $1. That would have been 1976, and I took it home and put it in my cassette player and listened to it. Started loving the music, and then wanted to find out who is this. And then Elvis died, and after he died, there was so many things written. There was magazines and National Enquirer and all these different things out there, and I just kind of romanticized the story, if you will. Who is this guy that has an entourage and shoots TVs and gives away cars and houses and has these airplanes and girls throw themselves at him? Who is this guy? You know, so that's the draw. And the most fun part is we have YouTube channels, as I mentioned. I have, if you go to YouTube, Spa Guy, and put Spa Guy 2 words and Elvis in, you'll find mine. Globetrotting with Trey is the other channel. And we just go around the world finding Elvis locations. If we could find a photo of Elvis somewhere, we try to go back to where that happened, show you what it looks like now, show you what it looked like then, and tell you what happened there. And it kind of brings the stories back to life. And then we bring things from those stories, and that's what the museum is. It's stories from around the world. And it's not just Elvis. We have Jerry Lee, all kinds of stuff in there.
Right.
I mean, there's tons of things.
So you're talking about being 13 years old and falling in love with the music and then just having this insatiable curiosity. Let's fast forward to 20 years. What were you doing with Elvis when you were 33?
Okay, well, I'll back up to, let's back up to 1988. I went to Graceland the very first time in 1988. I had been married a year. I got married in 87. And my first week's vacation, I had a pretty good job. I was service manager at a Ford dealership. And my first week's paid vacation was during July of 1988. I bought a brand new car, a brand new Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe, and drove my then just a little over a year married wife to Memphis, 18 hours straight through, didn't stop. Couldn't wait to get to Memphis.
It's foaming at the mouth for Grace.
I had romanticized this story to the point where I could not wait to get there. I got there, got a hotel, put my wife in the hotel. That night I went and jumped the fence, went back around Graceland and snooped in the barns behind Graceland. I have photographic proof in the museum. I can show it to you. I just could not wait to get there, and I wanted to be a part of it to the point where I went and jumped the fence and did get caught. And but they didn't get my footage because I hid it from them. I hid my film. And but they held me in the guard shack and they let me go. But I did go over the fence. That was how and you know, the story's not quite as romantic as I make it in my mind. Now I know, you know, I
know it's trespassing.
Yeah, but it was fun, and it was a banner day. That's what we call it. You know, sometimes we get to see things go places, and Elvis's name still opens doors. We can go into a hotel that Elvis was in, let's say, and we don't ask permission. I'm just going to be honest, because if you do, people go, oh, they're thinking film crew, they're thinking this and that. It's not a film crew, it's 2 guys with cameras. You know, we're going to go in. So we go in and start filming, and security will see you and they'll come find you. And then the next thing we go is, you know, Elvis was in this building and we're looking for such, and the next thing you know, they're helping you find it. You know, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Awesome. His name still opens doors.
If you ever need to get in somewhere, carry a ladder. They won't ask.
They'll never ask any
They'll
questions.
never
I
ask.
saw that the other day.
Those 2 guys were great, weren't they?
Yeah.
Billy Stallings is the owner of the Tigerman Karate Dojo and Museum on Luciville Road, where you can see the ambulance and an airplane owned by Elvis Presley during Elvis Week. Billy, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much.
So guys, I just wanted to stop by to pay my respects to a friend of mine that I loved, and that was just so cool. The one and only Mr. Bill Morris, Elvis's buddy, but a lot more than that. Bill was one of a kind. What a legend he is to Memphis. The sheriff of Shelby County, the mayor,